Hi, Tom from bkmnutrition.com, and today I want to show you how to very easily work out your calories and macros for weight loss or muscle gain or a little bit of both. Now, this is part of my 21 Ways in 21 Days program. It's a free series of videos that you can watch in sequence or however you want to watch them, and it will just basically give you 21 tips, tricks, hacks, if you want to call them that, in order to be productive in getting your perfect body. So all the things I'm going to talk about in the 21 videos are things that you can do yourself. I'll give you walkthroughs, I'll give you advice on what to do, and if you've got the motivation, you can do it yourself and get the results yourself without paying anybody. So that's nice and free. So what I'm going to do today is, on my website, I'm going to show you the free tools that you can use to calculate very easily your calories and macros for fat loss and muscle gain. So if you go to my website, bkmnutrition.com, right at the top, you'll see a services link here. Go to the services, and incidentally, if you go to Instagram on Tom Blackman _nutrition, the link in the bio goes to this link as well. So you can do it from Instagram, you can do it from my website. And just a full disclosure, I do have cookies on my website that track if you visited, so just be aware of that. You can turn those cookies off if you want to. So when you go to my the link, the services link, there's some free stuff you can go to. Let's go down here. So what you want to go to is the fat loss calorie calculator and the muscle gain calorie calculator. So I'm going to go through each one very quickly so you can see how it works. So if we click on the fat loss calorie calculator, very easy. All you have to do is put in your details. So I am male. My height is, I think, 165. I always know that it's 5'4", but I never know what my actual centimeters is. So my age is 41, and my current body weight as of this morning is 92 kilos. Now that's the basic metrics that you need to just calculate what's called the RMR, which is the resting metabolic rate, and that's the energy that you burn just existing. So and just be aware that if you've got more muscle, so I have more muscle than the average person, my BMI is going to be, or my RMR is going to be slightly higher, but this won't take that into account. So if you do have more muscle, you do need to take that into account. But this is just a starting peg. We can't account for anything, so everything. Sorry. So then what we do is we put in our activity. Now this is really important because your resting metabolic rate is just you existing through the day. And what we need to calculate is how much moving about and how much exercise that you do. And that gives us what's called a PAL, which is a personal activity level. And you take your PAL level, which is between 1 and 2. 1 is I do nothing all day, I sit in bed all day. And then 2 would be I'm a hyper Ironman tri-decarathlete or whatever. So you're doing loads of stuff in the day. So it's between 1 and 2. And these factors, so if we put in what we do in our daily job and our exercise activity, that will give us that calculation. So my job is actually, I'm quite inactive because I sit behind a computer most of the day, talking to people on YouTube and doing Zoom calls and talking to clients, and also walking around my gym that I own. So I'm probably medium active. I'm not actually loads active in my job. I don't do a lot of heavy lifting. I do some lifting in the gym for weights and stuff like that. And I'm between 6,000 to 10,000 steps a day. So that's where I am. So I'm going to click that. And then my exercise activity, well, I do a lot of exercise because I train 4 times a week at least with weights. And I also do my 2 kettlebell workouts that I film in my group every week. So that is about two 30-minute sessions every week. So as well as my 4 workouts. So I would say I'm 5 or more sessions per week. So I'm quite active. Okay, and then what this will do, the calculator will calculate so your base metabolic rate. So that's what I said is the calories you just use existing. So it's saying that mine is 1751. I think mine will be just slightly higher than that, just because I've got more muscle. But for most people, I say 90% of people, this will be accurate. And then our maintenance calories, that is what's called our energy expenditure rate for the day. So that is how much calories I burn just doing all the stuff in my day. So my exercise, my walking around, my job, and my living. So and actually existing, that gives me my maintenance calories, and that's the calories I need just to do that. Now, if we want to burn fat, we want to or burn body fat, I should say, then we need to be below those calories. So this is where it will give you your fat loss calories for the day. Now, this is basically just this number minus 500. So you can create your own deficit. I probably wouldn't go much over 600 if I were you. I'd probably say about 500 is a manageable amount for most people. If you are a very small person, say like a 50-kilo female, you probably don't want to go for a 500 calorie deficit, because that will put you in probably 30 to 40% of your calories for the day. So you just need to be aware that there is a little bit of adjustment you need to be fit for your size and for your shape. Now, what I've also done is on this calculator, I've given you guideline macros for the day. Now, these are based on a certain number of calculations that I use with my clients in my personal practice. So I've just applied them to this calculator. So this would be a ballpark figure of if you were coming to me as a one-to-one or as part of my group program, I would be saying this is where we need to be sort of with macros. Now, this does, again, depend on the person and adjustments for lifestyle and everything else, but this will give you an idea about where to start, and you can get started straight away with an app like MyFitnessPal or something like that. So it's telling me that I need about 166 grams of protein, about 350 grams of carbohydrate, and 46 grams of fat per day. Now, this figure, this protein intake figure, is set to be the base level for optimal muscle building. So it's 1.8 grams per kilo. So for me, I need about 166 to be at the bottom of that optimal muscle building level for the day. So that's what I need to be as a minimum. Now, if you want to, you can get these emailed to you. Just put your details in there. Again, just be aware that you might be added to my email list. But you can unsubscribe at any time, but you'll get your results by email. I think most people just come on and just download it from there. So that's how to get your fat loss calories for the day. But that will give you a diet macro split for a lean muscle program. So you'll be able to build muscle as well as losing some body fat with the right training program. And there's going to be another video where I'll talk about the training systems you need to use. But today we're just talking about calories. So you've done that. What if your goal is to build more muscle? So we go to the muscle gain calorie calculator. So this looks a little bit different. I just redid it recently. Same principle though. So now I don't want to lose body fat. Now I want to gain some muscle. I want to build myself up. Now for this, we probably do want a calorie surplus. To build muscle optimally, we do need to be in a calorie surplus, but not a massive one. And a lot of people get this wrong. They right, I'm on a bulk, I'm on gain, and I want to gain loads of muscle. Right, I'll just eat loads of cake and calories and blah, 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 and just eat as much as they possibly can. And what's the result? They get fat, so they don't really build that much muscle. But they think they're gaining muscle because they're building loads of fat, and they go, oh, look, I'm gaining a stone in 2 weeks. Yeah, you're fat, mate. You haven't gained a load of muscle. Muscle comes on very, very slowly. So we need to work out what the right calories are so that we gain muscle, but we're not gaining as a lot of fat at the same time. So we're going to put the same things in here. Hopefully remember the details. So my age is 41. Current body weight, I think I said 92 kilos. And my job is medium active, and my exercise level is 5 sessions a week because I'm hardcore bodybuilder. So now we've got basal metabolic rate. I'm glad that came out the same amount. So 1751, maintenance calories the same, 297. And now it's looking at my muscle gain calories per day. Now I've set this as around about a 600 calorie surplus. Now that is enough in my experience when I'm working with clients to get a decent amount of, say, muscle coming on and decent amount of energy for training, but also not too much to be able to put them into a level where they're gaining tons of body fat. Now, again, this will vary. If you are a bigger person, you might need more calories than this. If you are a leaner person, you can probably get away with having more calories before you start getting fatter. If you are overweight before you start this, you might want to not go for 600 calories straight away, or actually that 600 calories, because you might be eating like 4,000, 5,000 calories a day, you might find that this number is actually too much of a drop for you. So you've got to look at what you're eating currently. You don't want to drop too much, because then you'll be in a place where your body's having a massive deficit. Even though you're still potentially in a surplus, you might be in a massive deficit from what you're eating. The body might kick back against that. So there is a load of caveats with this, but this will give you a base level to start with, what I would use with a client if they would come into me saying, this is me, what would you suggest? So saying to me, I need 3,500 calories to gain muscle per day. That's accurate, because that is something I have used in the past and gained muscle and not gained too much fat at the same time. So I know that's an accurate figure for me. Protein intake. Now you'll notice that the protein intake is more than what it was on the fat loss calorie calculator. Now the reason for that is because this figure is at the top end of the muscle gaining scale, I suppose. So if you look at research and what's been done on muscle building, optimal levels, I think it's between 1.6 and 2.3 in the research. I generally tend to go to 1.8 to 2.5. That's my experience of coming in as well as looking at the research. And sort of 2.5, if I can get clients to that level of protein intake, well, that's the level we generally tend to see the best results come on with muscle building. So that's where I stick to. But with fat loss, you've got to remember you're in a calorie deficit. So every calorie counts. So we want to be at the bottom end of that scale. So we're not overloading too much on protein so we can have more carbs for our training. So there is a few nuances that come into that. But if we're going for a surplus, well, we can have as much protein as we need to because we're in a surplus. So we get more of our calories from protein. And then look at the fat intake is slightly higher again than the last one, because if we're eating more food, then there's going to be elements of that food which have fat in. So whenever you eat a food like rice or something like that, it's not just carbohydrates, there's also some protein and some fat in it. So it would be very difficult to keep a low level of body fat when you're operating in a surplus, because you've also got the food you've got to eat is going to have some fats and it's going to have some proteins in as well. So you can't just go, oh, yeah, just eat more rice, because that will push both of those figures up as well as the carbohydrates. So we keep the fat intake slightly higher, so it's easier to maintain those macros while you're trying to do the diet. And then the carbohydrate, yeah, obviously that's massive now, because we're trying to really give ourselves as much energy as possible in order to burn loads and loads of energy up when we're training and stimulate the muscle to be failed and then to grow. Again, if you want to, you can get this emailed to you. You will go on my email list. If you do that, just be aware of that. Okay, so that is how to do it. Very quick on my website. Please feel free to use those links. I have put them out to benefit people. And although, yes, I do ask for email addresses, if you can join my email list and get loads of cool stuff on nutrition and training, you can do that as well. But you don't have to, you can just copy it from the website. So that is the end of this video. In the next video, I'll be talking about the best workout splits in order to build muscle, lose body fat, or a bit of both at the same time. So that's video 2, but this is the end of this video. Hope you found that helpful. If you did, please like, share, etc., etc. Help me get more views on YouTube and stop people who don't know anything about nutrition from telling people to do stupid things and messing up their body. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.